Hello, everybody. As you know, welcome to another episode of Cruel Justice, empowered by Witness to Innocence. Today is kind of like a special day. It's been 1 year from the 16th of next Thursday, which we don't have a show next Thursday. So starting the anniversary a little early. And it's been 1 year since Cruel Justice have uh, been on the air. And I want to say thank you, and I appreciate everybody that was involved, and you know all the staff that was involved. And I really hope that this show really touched some people into a way where they can actually um, say this show made a difference to them. Today, what we're going to do is talk about things that happened in 2021, and we're going to talk about the death penalty. And what we're going to start off with is Biden. You know, it's been halfway through the year, well, a little bit over the halfway mark of the year. And so far in our world of death penalty advocacy, so many people was wondering, was Biden or is Biden going to do as he said when he was elected concerning the death penalty? Well, as of last week, maybe this week, but as of July 1st, Biden administration stepped out and made it publicly. The Attorney General, Merrick Garland, has imposed a moratorium on scheduling federal execution. The Department of Justice announced on Thursday, and I'm reading from the NPR, the department will review its policies and procedures on capital punishment, following a wave of federal executions carried out under Trump administration. In a memo to the Justice Department, Garland justified his decision to halt the deeply controversial practice, citing factors including comparisons, application, and oversized impact on people of color. The department, in the quote, it said, Department of Justice must ensure that everyone in the federal criminal justice system is not only afforded the rights guaranteed by the Constitution and the laws of the United States, but is also treated fairly and humanely. That obligation has special force in capital cases. Now, I wanted to bring this to the attention because that's a move that I tip my hat to Biden. You know, we done did shows, and we done, even Witness to Innocence, we done sent letters asking Biden to stand by what he was talking about when he was first running for president, by abolishing the death penalty. And this is a huge step. And one of the things I've learned is that here, with the president making this move on at the federal level, a lot of states will now follow behind Biden's decision and will now follow suit. And it's like when the movie Just Mercy came out. You know, a lot of legislators wouldn't even entertain a death penalty bill, but now so many easily sit down and have the conversations about the death penalty now. So it's like these little movements that's being made it tends to make some of the other legislators and other politicians feel comfortable about making the move what they feel is right, because a lot of legislators and politicians don't want to entertain abolishing the death penalty because they think what their colleagues would say and things like that. So I think this was an excellent move by I think it is an excellent move by Biden, and this shows that he is moving forward to um, keeping his word. And all us that's been jumping around wondering what he's going to do, at least he showed us some type of action. Now, the good thing about this is that it's a good and a sad thing, because the reason I say it's good is because we don't have a high number of people that's been executed this year. Only 5 people have been executed in the United States in 2021. 3 of them was federal. 1 was the female, Lisa Montgomery, and 2 others. The other 2, and if I was to ask people, guess what state is the only state that did executions this year in the United States? And they will say Texas. I don't know what is wrong with Texas down there. It's like Texas is, I just don't get Texas, you know. And we got cases like Rodney Reed down there that's actually, you know, fighting, you know, and it's a lot of, we had a case, Todd Willingham, where the officials and the experts told the governor that, hey, this wasn't right. This investigation wasn't right. You know, he didn't start this fire and kill his family, and they still executed Todd Willingham. Now I'm hoping that, you know, it don't proceed like that anymore. But we have a long battle with Texas. And those down there in Texas that's paying attention to us, you know, I would be actually embarrassed to say I'm from the Longhorn State, because they have no regards to human life. And me personally, I would love to see Dallas, Texas, but I don't think I've set foot in Texas, because I don't feel that comfortable with Texas. I would feel that maybe I might be side up, or, you know, and what people don't understand is that these things can happen to anyone. And those that's not involved got to understand, don't wait till it happened to you or in your family to get involved. You need to get involved now. Then you at least have a network if it did happen to you, and you'll understand what is really going on. Now, I was going to say some of the good things first, but I want to address this worst part of 2021 with the death penalty for me, is to see a state like South Carolina go out and actually, instead of walking away from the death penalty because all these botched executions, faulty medication you're using for, I mean, it's just wrong. Instead, they try to implement something of the old centuries where you have a gun squad. Now, my thing is like this here. The average person, the officer that's working, they maybe make 24, 25,000 a year. Maybe some may even make $50,000 a year. But what amount of money can you place in a person's hand to say, kill this person that has nothing, that has done nothing to you? How can someone sit on the other side of that gun, don't know if you're innocent or whether you're guilty, and just actually pull the trigger because the governor signed the paper to say, pull the trigger? this is very, very crazy. And I don't know what South Carolina um, legislators was actually thinking about, but I think they are on drugs up there, you know, in South Carolina. And the thing about it is that, do you know, we have many, many experts that has been involved with executions, doctors. We have people like, God bless the dead, Jerry Green, who was actually an executioner who had to carry out the executions. Uh, we have uh, we have reporters and people who have witnessed executions, all coming forth now, all coming forth, and they telling the stories about the mental trauma that it caused them to watch, to be involved. The way it hit them, if they decided to say, hold on, I can't do this no more. This is not right. This is not right. And they come and speak out. So now you take and you want to take more people and create victims by traumatizing them to actually pull the trigger. Now, what happens to those that actually is there to witness the execution? Are they going to be able to sit there and stand there and watch watch them just, you know, shoot this man? You know, it's not like you could go to a horror show and it's not like you could go to a horror show in reality. But this is the way they are proceeding to do. But I'm gonna bypass that because, you know, I'm hoping that actually I'm hoping Florida be the next state, my state, to abolish the death penalty. You know, the legislators are entertaining bills, and it's amazing how years and years have passed by, and they've beginning to make movements and consider changes. We get more and more votes on abolishing the death penalty now than we did before. Now, I tip my hat to California. Let's go back to Virginia. 2021, Virginia did away with it. Last year, Colorado did away with it. And I tip my hat to that because it's now 3 years straight. 2019, Colorado, 2019, New Hampshire, 2020, Colorado, 2021, Virginia. 3 years in a row, which has not happened since 2011. 2011 was Illinois, 2012 was Connecticut, 2013 was Maryland. And then it jumps all the way 6 years before we could get another 3 years in a row, or even a state to them within them 6 years, no state abolished the death penalty. So I took my hat to Virginia by adding themselves to the list this year with great success to abolish the death penalty. And I look at California now, who's the Supreme Court is considering putting a memorandum out now and actually altering the death penalty in that state, which would be so awesome to add California to the list. You know, with so much going on out there, California has been a great state where changes are taking place. Unlike Texas, who's not entertaining anything, California, I think, is on the top of the list of actually considering and probably be the next state, even though I hope Florida be the next state. Ohio. The good thing about Ohio is that Governor DeWine did delay the 3 remaining executions for this year. So he didn't go forth with the execution this year, which making it so lovely, because we can say we at the probably the lowest count for execution since it's been reenacted in 1976. Don't quote me on that. I just feel that that is the case. I didn't quite see all the numbers, but I feel that that's the case. But either way, that is good. That is good. And you know, the thing about it is that it's been since 1976 in the literature, it's been 84 Bosch executions since 1976. So they do away with that and they bring in lethal injection. We done had a large number of Bosches through the lethal injection, and now they're bringing in the firing squad, which probably wouldn't have a failed Botch execution, but it's just not right. But then when you look at those issues there with the executions, then you look at the number of people that's been exonerated from death row, which is I think it's 184 or around 190. I'm not sure how many, but that's a large number of people being exonerated from death row. Then you have to look at where the appeal courts have overturned a death sentence, and those people have been issued a sentence of life in prison without parole, or they've gone back for a new trial. Some have been acquitted from the new trial. Some have been resentenced in the new trial. But look at that. I mean, you got issues in the executions. You got issues in the sentencing. It's constantly filling up the court with motions that argue valid points, that represent righteousness, and is costing so much taxpayers' money. We talk about how much it is for a death penalty trial. Then let's weigh in how much it is to house a person on death penalty. But you also have to weigh in how much do it cost for the litigations that we have to send through for appeals and direct appeals and habeas corpus and federal habeas corpus. And then we have to also look at the toll that is bringing on not only the victim's family, but the defendant family also. Now, just thinking about those issues there alone just gave me a headache. My blood pressure is up. It just gave me a headache. And I don't understand how legislators aren't considering all of these factors in one issue. You know, some maybe think about it, the cost of housing. One may think about the cost of trial. And they're not looking at the whole picture of all the issues at once. And I think that's why a lot of time it's hard meeting up with them, but some of them don't want to hear anything unless we have something that really interests them. You know, I've had plenty of legislators that, oh, I'm so sorry what happened to you. I hope this don't happen to nobody else. If there's anything I could do for you, please let me know. Yeah, it is something you can do for me. Abolish the death penalty. Because you're sitting there saying you're sorry and you don't want this to happen to no one else, but yet you're not casting your vote to end the death penalty. And that to me is like very hypocritical, because it's like someone come up and rob me for my lollipop and then come back and say, I'm sorry, but I don't have your lollipop either, and then take something else away from me. I mean, this this fight that we have in life, everybody have a role to play. Everybody have a role to play. And, you know, I look at on the Death Penalty Information Center, and I see all the bills that the state has, the other bills that the state around the United States filing concerning the death penalty. Some are for ending it, some are trying to expand it, some are trying to make it worse, you know, and I don't understand how those people that want to make it worse, or how those people can sit there and push for the death of another person. You know, it's like, if you look at the death certificate on everyone that's executed, it said cause of death, homicide. Well, we know homicide has prongs in it that shows whether in the jury instruction of when a person has committed homicides. And every time we do an execution, the state meets every one of those jury instructions. Every one of them elements that needs to be made. But we, the people of the United States, are giving them the power to do this. Only time you want to step up is when it doesn't happen to you or someone in your family. Yes, we have a lot of people that actually, you know, dedicate themselves to it, that has not actually been affected by it, but actually sees that it's wrong, and they join the team and they fight with us. And you know, it's amazing how some of these people that gets involved does so much to help us as a team and abolish the death penalty, and they could be doing something else with their time. And the ones that need to be involved and make the changes sit up there and don't do anything. Hold on, I'm texting something in the chat. So because I got a little information that I needed to get in now, but I know I'm coming to an end soon. So I got it. And that's what I love about my stuff. I can tap in the chat, boom, get the answer. And the answer I was looking for is that, for y'all that haven't heard about the Rodney Reed case, it's a case out of Texas, you know, and it's I guess, excuse my language, it's a fucked up case. And the thing about it is that the person or people that should have been placed on death row or placed in custody was affiliated with the police officers. So now, and they was white, and this mostly was about because he is black and he was dating a white woman. Man, racism is crazy. This thing against this black and white, you sit on the bus thing, I mean, you sit in the back of the bus, that's been out the door. The dating of blacks and whites and every race, it is welcome. It is welcome. So why is it still being implemented in criminal cases? Special cases such as Rodney Reed, where they're about to try to take his life when he should be free. And I mean, all of it is there. So I ask that y'all do read about the Rodney Reed case. In fact, on July 17th, Allison, if you can tell me, do you have Rodney Reed website where they could purchase the t-shirts? Because what's happening right now is that on July 17th, everybody is gonna wear a Rodney Reed t-shirt, and we're trying to get it all over the all over the United States as a uniform day. That day for us would be Rodney Reed Day, July 17th. And hopefully it reaches Texas to see that he has great supporters out here, and that we think that justice should be reviewed and given. Allison has posted the link there where you could purchase the t-shirts. And, for those that's, ask the question, what can I do to help? It's little things like this that can help out real greatly. Buy a t-shirt for you or your friend, or, just buy a t-shirt for you or your friend, and you take it out and you actually wear it on July 17th. And step up with us, because I'll be wearing mine. I even got one for my wife. And we gonna represent that day, Rodney Reed, July 17th. So I would ask you to look at the link that was posted, and to actually purchase a t-shirt. Now I'm coming down to an end. Now, I finally got one of the staff. I'm gonna explain this first. I believe, like this show, for instance, Cruel Justice. A lot of people see my face, they hear my voice, and they like, great show, and things like that. Oh, I watch your show all the time. But they don't see the people behind the show. And that's our staff at Witness the Innocent, how great they do. In fact, one of our great staff members, Chloe, will be leaving this week. Her intern is up, and she was the one that created all the background Cruel Justice flyers that we posted on Facebook. If y'all haven't seen them, check them out, because every week for Cruel Justice, I had a special flyer with my special guest, and it was amazing. I felt like I'm doing the Tonight Show. So I wanted to say thanks to Chloe for all that you have done for us here at Witness the Innocent, and know that you have friends and family here at Witness the Innocent. So don't stay away from us. And I ask that you can at least tell the viewers bye.
Thanks, Herman. Yeah, that was such a nice way of putting it. And honestly, thank you for all the work that you have done to come up with this show and put it together every week. It's not an easy thing. So yeah, thanks for always bringing attention to these issues. It's been such a pleasure to work at Witness to Innocence, and to work with all these amazing exonerees who are always sharing their stories. And it's been so great seeing that this is how real change happens. People sharing their stories, and changing hearts and minds. So yeah, it's been really such an honor to be a part of that. And yeah, thanks, Herman. Thanks for all that you've done over this year too.
And like I say, you will be missed, and know that you do have the family here. Um, and I hate to see you go. I'm serious. I hate to see you go because you worked with us so greatly on editing little videos, a lot of videos. If you go to YouTube, and you'll see a lot of videos of the short videos. The great person behind it was Chloe, and staff members. Um, and I think they did an outstanding job. Um, and again, like I say, you'll be missed. We will have a new member coming on. There's Kathleen uh, Mafa, and I'm hoping everybody welcome her. Um, and I want to give a special shout out to our whole staff, and I'm gonna name them. We have Trisha, Jenny, Allison, Kara, IED is Kirk Bloodworth. And we have amazing, great board member, Mary Kate. How did I forget that one? I don't know. But Mary Kate. And I want to say that you should take a little trip on our website, and you can see all the different stories, bios. You can sign up for our newsletters. Even if you want to get exoneree to speak for you, call Allison. Um, and I guess I'm gonna end the show like that because I'm beginning to get kind of sad because I'm used to every time I come on the show, I see Chloe's face and she sit back there smiling. She really don't say much, but she sit back there smiling. And uh, when we talk about ideas of putting things together, maybe a background or a share screen video, it's like she's right on it, right on it. And I mean, Chloe, seriously, you will be missed uh, by us, and I thank you for your contribution to the Cruel Justice Show. So for now, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us. And I say so long.